London, 1984. A quiet morning in Bayswater is about to become an international crime scene. Umaru Dikko felt safe here, far from the military coup that had seized his homeland. But back in Lagos, the new regime had already signed his death warrant. They didn't want him extradited. They wanted him delivered in a box. Nigeria reached out to the only people who could pull off the impossible: Mossad. A team of elite Israeli agents arrived in London, operating under deep cover. For weeks, they watched Dikko. They knew his habits, his fears, and his route. They rented a yellow van, a moving van that would soon move a human life. July 5th, high noon, Dikko stepped out of his front door for a walk. He didn't notice the van sliding into position. He didn't see the door open. 4 men lunged. The struggle was short, violent, and clinical. In 5 seconds, the most wanted man in Nigeria was gone. Inside the van, a Mossad doctor was waiting with a preloaded syringe. Dikko was injected with a powerful anesthetic, plunging him into a deep coma. But the kidnappers were spotted. Elizabeth Hayes, Dikko's secretary, saw it from the window. She called Scotland Yard immediately. The hunt was on before the van reached the city limits. The kidnappers reached a secret warehouse. They had to work fast. They didn't just put him in a crate. They built a life support system inside wood. Dikko was placed inside. Next to him, a Mossad agent climbed in to monitor his vitals. They hammered the lid shut. They labeled it diplomatic baggage. According to international law, a diplomatic bag cannot be searched or opened. The crates were driven to Stansted Airport, bypassing the normal security checks. A Nigerian Boeing 707 was waiting on the tarmac, engines idling. The crates were loaded. The Mossad team thought they had won. But one man stood in their way: Customs Officer Charles Morrow. He noticed the crates weren't accompanied by the proper diplomatic courier, and there was the smell, a chemical, hospital scent leaking from the wood. Morrow refused to let the plane take off. A diplomatic standoff began. The Nigerian High Commission arrived, screaming about international law, but the British had a loophole. The bags didn't have the official seals. Scotland Yard gave the order: open the crates, now. The wood groaned as the first crate was forced open. Inside sat a Mossad agent caught red-handed with a medical kit. The second crate was pried open. The room went silent. Dikko was alive, but barely. He had been a prisoner in a box for hours. The Mossad doctor was found hiding in the corner of the crate, holding a syringe. The kidnapping was exposed. A worldwide scandal erupted instantly. Nigeria and Britain were on the verge of declaring war over the crate affair. The Israeli agents were sentenced to years in a British prison. Nigeria retaliated by detaining a British aircraft and its crew in Lagos. Diplomatic relations were severed. The two nations wouldn't speak for years. Umaru Dikko recovered in a London hospital under 24-hour armed guard. He had escaped the box, but he would never walk the streets of London alone again. The crate affair became a textbook case for every intelligence agency in the world. It proved that borders are porous and diplomatic bags aren't always full of paper. The Mossad lead was eventually released and returned to Israel as a silent hero. Nigeria eventually transitioned to democracy, and the ghosts of 1984 were buried. But for Umaru Dikko, the smell of wood and foam would always bring back the nightmare. The man in the box remained a symbol of an era where spies played by no rules. History is written in ink, but sometimes it's smuggled in a crate.